हरि ओम। सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वतीपतये हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। So Bhagavan tells Arjuna that without performing action, you will not be able to gain that knowledge and will not be able to gain that abidance in that self. So first, follow the path of Karma Yoga till you gain self-knowledge. Karma Yoga is very important. In Karma Yoga, you should fulfill all your duties properly, dedicating all of them to Ishvara. That is the Yajna Bhavana, Ishvara Arpana Bhavana, dedicating to Ishvara. The whole world is created with this Yajna Bhavana by Prajapati. So you work, dedicating your work to Ishvara through all those devatas, and those devatas will bless you. In this way, you as well as the devatas will attain the supreme goal of moksha. Bhagavan tells the importance of this yajna bhavana. He gives this beautiful, describes this beautiful chakra, the Jagat Chakra, that annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhavah yajnat bhavati parjanyah yajna karma samudbhavah karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yajne pratishtitam. That all beings, they gain their nourishment from anna, from food. But this food is obtained through rains. When it showers by the blessings of the devatas, when it rains, then we can cultivate a lot of food. And when we perform our karma with yajna bhavana, then the devatas are pleased and they bless us with good weather and good rains. This yajna emerges from karma, from our kartavya karma. How we know about this kartavya karma? From the Vedas, from our Shastras. So the karma is born from Brahma. Brahma means Veda. And from where the Vedas have come? From that Akshara, from that supreme reality, that Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma. This Vedas have come, and Vedas teach us what is our dharma, and if we follow that dharma, dedicating to Ishvara, it becomes yajna. And the devatas are pleased with our yajna. They shower the world with rains. Different type of food is created, and all beings are nourished. So this is a karma chakra or jagat chakra which is sustained by yajna. Therefore that Veda resides in yajna, and through yajna we have to keep this wheel turning. Bhagavan says one who doesn't perform his duties properly with a yajna bhavana, one who doesn't keep this wheel rotating, Bhagavan says aghayurindriya ramaha, that person is filled with, his whole life is filled with sin. And mogham parthasa jivati, that person is surviving fruitlessly, harming himself and disturbing the balance of this whole world. Therefore, we should continuously work, right from our birth till the end. We keep on working according to our kartavya, dedicating our kartavya to Ishvara. So this should go on and on and on. But the question comes that are we stuck in this wheel of karma? Is there no escape? When can we escape this wheel of karma? Because we keep on working, then we die with our samskar, then again we are born, then again we will keep on working in this Jagat Chakra, then again we die, and again we are born. So punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, this will go on. So is there no escape from this karma bandhan, from the Jagat Chakra? Can't we become free of that? Who can become free of that? Bhagavan says, the one who has realized the self, one who is established in his self, is free of all his duties. Therefore, that person is free of the Jagat Chakra. So that is described in that next verse. We had chanted it yesterday. Again we will chant verse number 17. यस्त्वात्मरतिरेव स्यात् आत्मतृप्तश्च मानवः आत्मन्नेव च सन्तुष्टः तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते. Bhagavan says, Yaha, he who, whoever that person may be, one who has reached this state becomes free of all his duties. Then the scriptures don't tell him to do this or not to do this. Then he becomes free from the hold of this world. But who is this person? He says, Yastu Atmaratireva Syat, one who is reveling in his own self. Atmatruptascha Manavaha, one who has gained satisfaction in his own self. Atmani evacha santushtaha, one who is completely content in his own self. Such a person becomes free from all kartavya. Tasya karyam na vidyate. That person doesn't have any karya. See, this person has reached this state by following the path of karma only. So through karma yoga, as we do our duties properly, dedicating our duties to Ishvara, dedicating our life to Ishvara, our karma yoga itself becomes modified to become upasana, and it becomes further refined to become bhakti, and it goes further to give us that self-knowledge. By the grace of Bhagwan and by the grace of our teacher, we gain self-knowledge. So from Karma Yoga means from performing our duties properly, Ishwararpana Bhavana, till we reach that state wherein we gain self-knowledge. Self-knowledge means what? Firm conviction that I am Atma Brahma. See, as our mind becomes more and more pure, we come to recognize ourselves as we are. Otherwise, we get totally involved with our ego. We get totally involved with our emotions and ideas and concepts and fears and repentance and all sorts of confusions which are there in our mind. But as our mind becomes pure, we come to recognize the real I, the Pratyagatma, the innermost self. The innermost self is recognized, and then through the scriptures, with the help of the teacher and with the blessings of Bhagwan, we come to understand that this innermost self is Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. Through Shravan and Manan, we come to know, we come to understand, we get convinced that I am Atma Brahma. Once that conviction happens, we can drop all the extra karma which we are doing and focus our attention on the path of meditation till we gain abidance in our own self. We come to realize ourselves. We gain direct immediate experience of our own self. Such a person is described here in this verse कि आत्मरति ही एव, that person revels in his own self. See, an ignorant person keep on reveling in the objects of this world. In the second chapter also Bhagavan was talking about the fall of a person कि ध्यायतो विषयांस पुंसः, one who meditates on the objects of this world, the pleasures of this world, then how he falls down and gets destroyed. So an ignorant person tends to revel in the world of objects, tends to revel in the pleasures of this world, either in the present time when he is experiencing this world, the pleasures, or sometimes a person goes into the past and keeps on reveling on those pleasures which he had experienced in the past. Or a person imagines a future and starts reveling in those pleasures which he might gain in future. Or a person is at one place but start imagining himself to be at some other place enjoying the pleasures. So that is called rati, reveling in the objects of this world. But a self-realized master, he revels in his own supreme self. Because the very source of all pleasure, the very source of all happiness is our own self. Our self is of the nature of bliss. It is infinite. It is not confined to any time, any place, any object. It is infinite and it is of the nature of supreme bliss, Ananda Swarup. So self-realized master is fully content and he revels in his own self. Effortlessly. He doesn't have to put forth effort. Effortlessly his mind revels in his own self. Yastu atmaratihi eva syat atmatruptascha manavaha, is completely satisfied in his own self. Just like an ignorant person feels satisfied if he gets some food or some wealth or some position or some name or some fame or some object or some praise from the world. But this person, enlightened person, is completely satisfied in his own self. Atmatruptaha. Trupti. Deep sense of satisfaction. Deep sense of fulfillment. There is no sense of incompleteness at all. We even can't imagine such a state. So total fulfillment, satisfaction. Atmatruptascha manavaha. Atmani evacha santushtaha. Again, he is totally content, completely full in his own supreme self, not in his ego. That person is not selfish, not reveling in his ego, but is totally established in his own supreme self. That Brahma, which is all pervading, is expressing through our own self as aham, aham, aham. हृदय कुहर मध्ये केवलम ब्रह्म मात्रम अहम अहमिति साक्षात आत्मरूपेण भाति. So that person is reveling in this Atma, which is Sakshat Brahma. So Atmani evacha santushtaha, is completely fulfilled, completely content in his own self. Doesn't require any other object or means to feel satisfied, to gain, to feel happy. Totally content in his own supreme self. Atmani evacha santushtaha. tasya karyam na vidyate. Bhagavan says, for such a person, there remains no duties to be performed. Karyam means kartavyam. Kartavyam means that which has to be done. We are obliged to do. That is called karya. See, when we are in this world, there are so many duties which we are bound to do. Duties towards our own body, towards our own self, duties towards our own family members, duties towards our society, towards our nation, toward the forefathers, toward the devatas, toward the rishi munis, toward the other beings of this world, towards human beings. But for a self-realized master, there remains no duty. It's very difficult to appreciate, but that is what it is. So, Atmanneva cha santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. There remains no duty. I mean, the scriptures don't tell that person, oh, you do this, otherwise you will incur sin. You do that, then you will gain punya. Oh, you do this, it is your duty, you have to do. The scriptures can't tell him like that. Nor the world can tell a person, enlightened person, that this is your duty. No. Why? Why this person is free from all his duties? Doesn't he have anything to gain? Doesn't he have something to lose? Doesn't that person depend on someone or something? How come that person is free from all duties? Bhagavan tells in the next verse, very beautiful verse, he says, Naiva tasya krite nartha na krite neha kaschana na chasya sarva bhuteshu kaschidhartha vyapashrayah. Bhagavan says, कि न एव तस्य कृतेन अर्थः. He says that person, an enlightened person, doesn't have anything to gain through karma. कृतेन न अर्थः एव. कर्म करने से उसे कुछ लेना नहीं है. He doesn't have anything to gain through karma. See, when we perform karma, it has got twofold result. One is that it gives us some result in the world outside. And another, if we perform that karma with a particular attitude, good attitude, it purifies our mind. So it gives a result outside and it gives us a result within. Outside we get artha, kama, we get wealth, we get position, we get name, fame, we get our livelihood. And inside our chitta becomes pure, we gain knowledge. But this person has nothing to gain within. His mind has already become pure. He has already gained knowledge. He is already established in that knowledge. He is reveling in his own self. He has got no doubts. He has got no confusions. He has got no wavering. He is fully established in his own self as Brahma. He knows he is birthless and deathless. He knows he is everything and everyone. He knows that time and action will not have any effect on him. He has realized that thing. It is not just a theory. It is his direct experience. Again, he has nothing to gain in the world outside. It is his direct experience that this whole world is his expression of his own self. There is nothing which is different from his own self. Everything is own self. Everything really belongs to him only. There is nothing more to be gained in this world. There is nothing different from his world. Whether this world or other world, whether we talk about Swargalok or Brahmalok, everything is contained in the self only. One who has realized the self attains all the lokas of this world, attains all the happiness of this world, attains everything of this world. A person who has attained everything, there is nothing more to be gained from this world. So, through karma, he has nothing to gain. Okay, sometimes through karma we might not have anything to gain, but not performing karma, he might incur some pratyavaya dosha, a defect of not fulfilling, not doing what he has to do. He says no. Bhagavan says no. This also doesn't happen. Na akratena kaschana. Not doing will not harm this person in any way. Not performing action will not harm this enlightened person in any way. It will not create any sin. It will not create any disturbance. It will not create any shortcoming in this person. So, na akratena kaschana. Okay, we may not want anything from karma, we may not lose anything from not doing karma, but sometimes a person remains dependent on someone. May not do action directly to gain something, but may have to do action towards some other person, may be dependent on some devata, may depend on some family, may depend on the society, may be dependent on some other person, or on some system or something. But here Bhagavan says कि न च अस्य सर्वभूतेषु कश्चिद अर्थव्यपाश्रयः. This person has got nothing to gain or lose from any person or any system or any devata or anyone of this world and the other world. He has got nothing dependent on any person of this world and other world. Right from Brahmaji. ब्रह्मादि स्थावरांतेषु भूतेषु न कश्चिद अर्थ व्यपाश्रयः. Shankaracharya ji writes, right from Brahmaji to a blade of grass, he is not dependent on any person nor on any object for his existence. His existence, his knowledge and his bliss is independent. He is independently Sat Chit Ananda Swarup, not depending on anyone. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji writes कि कश्चित भूत विशेषम आश्रित्य न साध्यः कश्चित अर्थः अस्ति. That there is nothing to gain, nothing is there to gain from some person or some devata for this enlightened being. So, there is no kartavya for this enlightened person. See, this is very important. Though this person doesn't have a kartavya, but this enlightened person also works in this world. Not that they become incapable of working, not that they will not work, but they work out of their compassion. They work out of their love. That we will see later on. But there is no compulsion, there is no sense of duty behind their work. Their work is out of their fullness, out of their compassion. We will see how they work. So, one who has gained this self-knowledge and one who has gained abidance in this self becomes free of all duties. Other than these people, all of us, all those who are ignorant and those who have not gained this self-knowledge and those who have not gained abidance in this self-knowledge, for all of us, kartavya karma or performing karma is important and it is our duty and it cannot be abandoned, it has to be done. That's what Bhagavan now tells Arjuna, that you are not enlightened person, you have not gained that abidance in yourself, So you should perform your duties with a karma yoga attitude. So he tells Arjuna here in the next verse, and through Arjuna to all of us. Bhagavan says, Tasmad asaktas satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hyacharan karma paramapnoti purushaha. Bhagavan says, ki tasmat, therefore means, therefore, hey Arjuna, you should do your duties. Asakta satatam karyam karma samachara. Karyam karma, the duties which are ordained to you by the society as well as the shastras, all those you have to do. Tasmat means the various reasons Bhagavan had given in this third chapter right from the beginning. First of all, Bhagavan said that Karma Yoga is the first step before we gain abidance in ourself. So there are these twofold path, Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. So you have to follow this path of Karma Yoga. Then Bhagavan also told Arjuna that just by not performing action, we cannot gain abidance in our own self if we have not gained that knowledge. And even if you try, you will not be able to become free of all karma, because your prakriti will force you to perform karma. And if you forcefully try to prevent karma from happening, your mind will start wandering everywhere, and that will be just fruitless action on your part. So instead of that, control your senses and follow the path of Karma Yoga. Do your duties. The niyatam karma you do, and do it as with Ishwar Arpana Bhavana, Yajna Bhavana, Ishwar Arpana Bhavana. Because the whole world is created with Ishwar Arpana Bhavana by that Prajapati. So you, through your karma, you worship the Devtas. Devtas will nourish you, and together you will progress and attain that moksha. One who just takes from the society but doesn't give back through proper action, such a person is a thief. So don't become a thief, O Arjuna. Do your duties properly, and whatever you gain as prasad, you be happy with that. Because this whole chakra which you see, this whole world, is set in motion with the axle of yajna. That yajna is revealed in our Vedas. Through this yajna only, everything is functioning in this world. The whole world is an organic whole. It is pulsating with life. It is pulsating with that supreme reality. So be in tune with this cosmic cycle and perform your karma properly. One who doesn't understand this and don't work, Bhagavan says they are wasting their time, they are living in sin. And those who finally gain self-realization alone become free of this kartavya, because he has got nothing to gain or lose through karma, nor does he depend on any person or any being. Therefore, so this therefore, you should remember all that Bhagavan had told Arjuna. So therefore, asaktak satatam karyam karma samachara. Therefore, hey Arjuna, karyam karma, the duties which are assigned to us by the Vedas. As I have said, in the 18th chapter, Bhagavan had mentioned this karyam karma as yajna dana tapak karma. Yajna karma, dana karma, and tapak karma. Plus, whatever our karmas are there according to our varna and ashrama, we should do. Bhagavan had mentioned will mention in 18th chapter, ki sve sve karmani abhiratah samsiddhim labate naraha. By just being dedicated to our own karma, we will attain fulfillment in our life. So tasmad asakta, but how we should do this karma? Asaktaha. Asakta means asangaha, with asanga buddhi. without attachment to the karma and the karma phala. We just do it with a sense of duty that it has to be done, so I am doing it. And whatever required for me, it will come to me, so I don't have to worry about it. I just have to do my duty to the best of my ability. So, asakta satatam, satat. This duty is not something which we have to do morning 8 to evening 5 or something. It is something which we have to do for 24 hours. There is no such thing that, oh, my duty towards Bhagwan is only for this particular time, 8 hours per day or 5 hours per day with Sunday holiday. Nothing like that. 24 hours, all 7 days of the week, all days of the month, all days of the year, we should do our duty. Even our sleeping, our taking care of ourselves is also part of our duty. So, but all should be within the duty only. So, satatam, that is called satat, without sarvada. Karyam karma, your duties ordained to you by society and by the scriptures, shastras, you do. Samachara, samachara means samyak achara, अच्छी तरह से करो. Do it very well, do it efficiently, do it with joy, do it with enthusiasm, do it with proper thinking, do it with proper sensitivity, do it by not harming anyone, do it by tuning it to the higher values of life. Ahimsa, Satyam, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Parigraha. Do it in such a way that nobody is harmed by it. Do it in such a way that there is no lie and cheating involved in it. Do it in such a way that you don't steal anything. Do it in such a way that you don't overindulge in the pleasures of this world. Do it in such a way that you don't accumulate things unnecessary with yourself. So that's called samachara. Tasmad asaktam satatam asaktas satatam karyam karma samachara. So if you do this with Ishvara arpan bhavna, then what will happen? Asakto hi acharam karma param apnoti purushaha. Bhagwan says, if you keep working in this way, asakta, without attachment, tuning to Ishvara. See, our joy in work should be that I am working for Ishvara. That will give us joy. That will give us inner satisfaction. That will give us that inner sense of security. That will give us an inner sense of fulfillment. Because I am the sevak of Ishvara. What is there greater than this? Bhagwan has given me this work. He has taught about me. He has given me this work. He has placed me in an important notch in this whole world cycle. So with that feeling of deep satisfaction and deep connection with Ishvara, I work. And Bhagwan knows how much work I do. Bhagwan knows with what attitude I work. Bhagwan knows everything. Nothing is hidden from Ishvara. He is Sarvantaryami, He is Sarvajna, He is Sarva Shaktiman. So tuning to Ishvara, we should work. So asakto hi acharan karma. So when a person does this asakta, without sangha, without attachment, when he performs, when he does his work, through his work only, he will gain that supreme goal. Means in stages, through his work, his chitta will become pure. He will gain vivek, vairagya, shama, dhamadhi, shat, sampatti, mumukshutvam. He will gain self-knowledge by Bhagwan's grace and teacher's grace. Then he will gain that abidance in that self and gain moksha. So that param is moksha. Param is that atma jnana. Atma Sakshatkar or Ishwar Sakshatkar. That param a person will gain by being sincere in his karma yoga. Just make your karma yoga. Karma yoga is all the sadhanas are contained in this karma yoga. One doesn't have to worry that that I can do some more esoteric sadhana and all. There's nothing esoteric. If you can understand karma yoga properly and be a karma yogi, that being a karma yogi will take you directly towards moksha. So Bhagavan says, asakto yacharan karma paramapnoti purushaha. A person, purushaha means this sadhak, whether he is a male or a female, this seeker will attain param through karma yoga only. So Bhagavan told Arjuna. So one question may arise, one doubt may arise in Arjuna's mind and maybe in our mind also, that Bhagavan is telling all this big theory. Is there any examples of people who have attained the Supreme by following this path of Karma Yoga? Are there any examples? And Arjuna was a Kshatriya. So Bhagavan gives an example of a Kshatriya king, a very famous Kshatriya king who, following the path of Karma Yoga, gaining that total nishtha in Karma Yoga alone, attain the supreme goal of moksha. So very beautiful. Bhagavan says in the next verse, कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिम् आस्थिता जनकादयः लोकसंग्रहमेवापि संपश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि. Bhagavan says, कर्मणा एव हि संसिद्धिम् means moksham आस्थिता Janakadayah or is attained is Janak Adi, the great king Janak, and so many other kings. Janak was a great king. About him is mentioned in our even in Ramayana as the father of Sita ji. Also there are maybe many kings were there with the name Janak. Then there is a mention of King Janak in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. That day I told you the story of Yajnavalkya and all. So Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also talks about Raja Janak. So there is a story of this Raja Janak who was an enlightened person. But he continued to rule the kingdom, continued to do his duties, expressed his duty as a king. He continued ruling the kingdom as a king, and he was also enlightened. So here Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji takes both the possibilities. That one is that maybe he was, if we say that he was not enlightened, then we can say that he continued on this path of Karma Yoga and remaining in Karma Yoga. Because of his prarabdha, he could not take sannyas. His prarabdha made him continue with his expression as a king. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, he writes prarabdha karmatvat. So due to prarabdha karma, he had to continue as a king. So he continued with his karma yoga attitude, and while doing his duties itself, he became so pure, he gained knowledge and he gained abidance in that knowledge. And even after gaining abidance in that knowledge, though he was free of all his duties, he continued to perform all his karma not out of that sense of duty, but for loka sangraha. This is a very interesting word Bhagwan is using, very important. He says for loka sangraha. Loka sangraha mevapi sampashyan kartum arhasi. This Raja Janak, he continued working as a king even after enlightenment, even though he had no duties left, tasya karyam na vidyate, but for loka sangraha he continued to work. यदि ते प्राप्त सम्यक दर्शनाः ततो लोक संग्रहार्थं प्रारब्ध कर्मत्वात् कर्मणा सह एव असन्न्यस्य एव कर्म संसिद्धिम आस्थिता इत्यर्थः. So this Raja Janak, due to prarabdha, he had to continue to be a king, but even remaining as a king, doing all his karma, he attained, without even taking sannyas, he attained self-realization and he attained abidance in the self. But he continue expressing, continue doing work, not out of the sense of duty, not out of ignorance, not because he wanted to gain something, not because there was fear of losing something, not because he was dependent on something, but out of loka sangraha. So an enlightened person works in this world for the sake of loka sangraha. What is this loka sangraha? Shankaracharya ji, he writes कि लोकस्य उन्मार्ग प्रवृत्ति निवारणम लोक संग्रह. That to prevent people from going astray, from going in the wrong direction, from losing their sense of duty, from losing their sense of dharma, from going on the wrong path, to prevent people from going on the wrong path, and to maintain balance of this world, this to keep people on the right path, an enlightened person, though free of all his duties, continue to work. That is a very interesting thing which is mentioned here. See, an enlightened person doesn't have any duty, but if he just becomes lazy, or he expresses, he doesn't do any work, if he does whatever, there is no harm for that person. But unfortunately, other people will start imitating that person. Because they will say, oh, that person so enlightened, he is doing like that, so I will also do like that. He is not doing anything, so I will also not do anything. He is following that path, so I will also go in that direction. He is not doing that, so I will also. So, an ignorant person looking at the life of an enlightened person, knowing that that person is enlightened, he is a great master, and ignorant people start following them, and sometimes they harm themselves. Because the enlightened person is at a different level altogether. By imitating them, we will not gain anything. Yeah, we should listen to them and gain knowledge from them. But people are ignorant. They tend to imitate them. So in order to bless the people, in order to guide the people, though they themselves don't require it, a Mahatma also he works in this world. A Mahatma also will sit and meditate. A Mahatma will also do some puja. The Mahatma will also follow the path of dharma. The Mahatma will also do all those so-called duties as though just to give an example, to set an example to this world. For himself, there is nothing to gain or lose. If he does or doesn't do, there is nobody is there to punish or to reward a Mahatma. But they do it because of loka sangraha. So Bhagwan tells Arjuna that even because of your own prarabdha, Because of your own condition, now you can't give up all this karma and run away. You are still ignorant. You are bound to your kartavya karma. So you do it. Even though you may feel that no, I don't want anything to gain from this world. I have nothing to lose in this world. Bhagavan says, even if you think like that, for the sake of the world, you perform this karma. Because if you don't fight this war, even though you might say that no, I am a fulfilled person, I have nothing to gain or lose, Bhagavan says, looking at you, others will start imitating you. When they see that Arjuna is leaving the battlefield and going, so they will also leave. When they see Arjuna is not doing that work, they will also drop their work. So for the sake of the world, for the welfare of the world, for loka sangraha, to keep the world united, to keep people united and to make them move toward the right path, you work. Loka sangrahamevapi sampashyan kartum arhasi. Even if you think from the standpoint of loka sangraha, उस हिसाब से भी सोचकर you have to do your karma. So how this loka sangraha work? How does how can we integrate people through our work? What is the mechanism? What is the system? How does it work? How does this loka sangraha work? That is very beautifully presented in the next verse. See, all this third chapter is very, very interesting, very beautiful, very deep. So in this 21st verse, Bhagavan tells about the secret of loka sangraha. He says, Yad yadacharati shreshtaha tattadevetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanuvartate. Bhagavan says, Yad acharati shreshtaha tattadeve itaro janaha. Tattadeva itaro janaha. Bhagavan says, कि whatever way a Shrestha, a very, what you call Shrestha means a noble person, a great person, a person who is recognized in the society as someone great, someone noble, someone superior, someone better, a ideal person, a role model, is called Shrestha. So, generally what happens in the society, those ignorant people, they don't understand the concept, they don't understand the philosophy, they don't understand the dharma as guided by the scriptures, but they can see other people. They can see people, and some of them they consider them as their role model. So they start doing as these great people are doing. They don't understand what the scriptures are saying or what the philosophy is, but they just observe. Arey, he is a very great person and he is doing that. So if I also do that, it will be beneficial for me. So that is how the society generally works. The simple people of this world, the ignorant people of this world, who may not be so much aware of the higher values or higher philosophies or higher dharma which is mentioned in the scriptures, they just observe the great people of the society and they just imitate them. That is how it works. Even in the animal kingdom and all, among the birds also, this is a tendency. They just observe one bird and the other birds also start doing like that. They will observe one animal and the other animals also start doing like that. Because that becomes easier, simpler. Similarly, among human beings also, we see how that person is doing, so we also tend to imitate. That is how the society works Unfortunately, sometimes we consider a not so great person as our role model and start imitating, depending on the publicity. And nowadays with all this social media and those whole glamour of the films, glamour of politics, glamour of business, glamour of so many other things, people, they tend to imitate wrong people. And they also, because of that, they suffer. So we see someone as great and we think, oh, I should also become like that, but I cannot become directly. So I start imitating. I start imitating his hairstyle. I start imitating the way that person speaks. I start imitating the way that person is dressing. I start imitating the way that person is doing his work. I start following the same thing which that person is following. If that person talks about some scriptures, I also start reading that. If that person start telling about some technique of meditation, I also start doing the same thing. If that person says that, oh, that guru is great, I am following him, I also start following that guru. So in this way, people in this world, they tend to imitate others whom they think are great, whom they think are role model. So Bhagavan is telling that, hey Arjuna, that you are also role model to lot of people. And generally all of us are role model to someone or other. If not for the whole world, we become role model to our own family, to our own children and relatives. See, even parents, they are role model to their children. So the children keep on observing their parents, and they do what the parents are doing, because it is easier for them to imitate them than to understand them. Parents may sit and tell them high philosophy that how cigarette smoking is bad for health and all. They don't understand this. But if they observe their father is smoking, so they will think that apne पिताजी कर रहे तो अच्छा ही होगा. So they also start smoking. If my mother is behaving in a particular way, I feel that that way is the best, because she is my mother, she is my role model. If she can do like that, I can also do. If my parents can fight with each other, then I can also fight. If the parents can curse each other, then I can also curse. If they are not doing their work properly, then I need not do my work properly. If they are being lazy, then there is no harm being lazy myself. If they are cheating and lying, then there is nothing wrong in cheating and lying for me also. So in this way, looking at how our elders, looking at how our seniors, our role models are working, we also work in this world. So Bhagavan says, yad yad acharati, जैसे उन लोग आचरण करते, not as they speak, but as they do. We imitate what they do, not what they speak. So yad yad acharati shreshtaha tattadevetaro janaha. So others also just blindly do that. Sayat pramanam kurute, and whatever these elders, these seniors, this role model, whatever they express as praman, as authentic, as good, as proper, lokas tadanu vartate, others also blindly they follow it. See, that is how even the world of advertisement, see, this whole psychology is understood by these people who do publicity and marketing and all. They will try to catch hold of a role model for the society. Generally, ignorant people, they consider some glamorous person, a person who has acted in some film as a great hero and all, we think he is really a hero. So we take that person as a role model. He has acted in some film and become very famous, and the film also was super hit and all. We think that person is a role model. So that person, when he comes and sells us whatever cold drink, we think that cold drink is Sakshat Amrut only, we should drink. Why are you drinking? No, that मेरा hero ने बोल दिया कि ये तो अच्छा है. हाँ, ये तो पीना ही चाहिए. Why are you applying this dirty soap? No, my favorite heroine is applying it. And I see her skin has become so smooth and nice and fair and lovely. So I am also applying it. After few days, you find all things coming out of your skin. Anyway, that is a different story. So this world of advertisement and all also work on this. They show, they create a picture in front of us of our role models, how they are, and we blindly imitate them. So Bhagwan says, hey Arjuna, you are a role model for lot of people. When they think, even for your enemies, even this Duryodhana, Dushasana and all this Kauravas and all, deeply within, they appreciate you. They appreciate your valor. They appreciate your strength. They appreciate your bravery. They are afraid of you. They are scared of you. They think you are a great person and great archer. And if you behave in a negative way, if you leave this battlefield and go away, half your soldiers will leave and go away. And all of them will gather in Rishikesh and Haridwar and create a big mess there. All of them will become sannyasis, and then big confusion will be there. So don't give false praman to these people. Behave properly. So for the sake of integrating the society, for the sake of the welfare of the society, even if you yourself may not have anything to gain or lose, if you think you are an enlightened person, even then Bhagavan says you should work for the welfare of the society. So yad yad acharati shreshtaha tattadevetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanu vartate. Whatever praman you think, if you think and if you advocate that, oh, Bhagavad Gita is my favorite, is very nice and I always follow it and it has given me so much of solace and joy. So all those who consider you as Shrestha Purush, they will also adopt this scripture. They will also follow this path. They will also hold it very dear to their own heart. So set a good example to this world. Set such example which will be beneficial for the society. Not that it will take the society in the wrong direction. So Loka Sangraha, seeing Loka Sangraha me vapi sampashyan kartum arhasi. Hey Arjuna, लोक संग्रह के लिए तो अपना कर्तव्य कर्म करो. So very beautiful. More about this we will see in our class tomorrow. Till then, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, peaceful, do your duties, contemplate on what you have heard, share with your friends and relatives, and then we will meet again tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, 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 Jaya Jaya Ram, जय जय राम, जय जय राम। बोलिए सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम।